Hello and welcome to the course titled If I Must Die, Public Health, Power, and Palestine. Thank you for being here and learning alongside us. The objective for week 7 is to review from womb to tomb how conflict enacted by Israel severely impedes on and inhibits the lives of Palestinians. More specifically, the work featured in this week's module will explore how conflict produces, reproduces, and exacerbates health disparities in communicable diseases, maternal and perinatal health, and nutrition among Palestinian populations. The key articles that we're focusing on touch on how occupation and war dictate the land and space Palestinians are allowed to exist in, which often relegates them to places that are under-resourced or proximal to environmental contaminants that increase disease risk and worsen health outcomes among an already vulnerable population. For example, the paper by Ed and colleagues document the negative impacts associated with conflict, such as the rapid collapse of healthcare systems and the communicable diseases millions of refugees are exposed to while fleeing their homes. Furthermore, Se'ebnet examines how the segregation of Palestinians in Israel contributes to health disparities between Palestinians and Jews in Israel, specifically as it relates to COVID-19, hospitalizations, and mortality. The next paper, Manduka and colleagues detail how military attacks on Gaza increase exposure to environmental contaminants, such as carcinogenic heavy metals, and explain how these attacks devastate infrastructure responsible for waste management. Moreover, scholars found that proximity or closeness to unmanaged waste predicted preterm birth and birth defects for Gazan mothers and infants. Next, we review the work that emphasizes the importance of food and how limiting or creating barriers to accessing food is in fact a war tactic used to harm Palestinians. For instance, papers by Lin and colleagues and also the paper by El-Nehb and colleagues both discuss how conflict contributes to food insecurity and malnutrition of Palestinian people, while the paper by Al-Bilbaisi and colleagues analyzed the ways in which conflict in the Gaza Strip affects malnutrition for Palestinian children under 5 years old. So the key takeaways of this week's lesson center on understanding the different forms of violence Israel enacts on the Palestinian body across the life course, starting with violence against Palestinians from the time that they are in the womb through causing harm to birthing Palestinians and continuing via the consistent physical harm through war, disease, and malnutrition throughout a person's entire lifetime. This course and website is brought to you by the Health Not Punishment Collective. As always, please feel free to utilize any of the course material for your self-guided learning or classroom setting, whether you're a student, professor, unaffiliated with academia, or public health. We believe these course materials should be accessible and shared openly. Anyone who wishes to learn, if you would like to support what we're working on, give us some love on social media. We're on Instagram at healthnotpunishment_LA.